Hello everybody and welcome to Spring Into Action. I'm your host, Jonathan Creek. Now this series, I put it out every year, is all about gathering the real estate voices, the influencers, the agents who are making moves and impacts on the market and getting them on the show so that we can hear their insights into what's happening in the market, what they're doing to get ahead of the game and sharing their insights and information around the whole industry so that you can take those nuggets of gold and move your own businesses forward. Now, today's guest is no exception. She's a rock star of Melbourne's East. She's recently been in a brand change under the Jealous Craig banner now, and her name is Regina Atkinson, and I'm really glad to be bringing you an interview with her because she's one of those hard workers behind the scenes and really is getting it done. Her numbers don't lie. So enjoy this episode with Regina Atkinson. Hello and welcome to Regina Atkinson. Reggie, welcome to Spring Into Action.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, every year I put this series together where I interview real estate influencers and voices and operators that I think can add value to the wider market, just to give the real estate industry a bit of a kick or a boost or some new strategies and ideas going into spring. And I thought no better than to get you on, because you and I have been working pretty closely together for a few months, maybe longer than that actually, maybe 6, 7, and I really admire the way that you translate what's going on in the market.
Thank you.
And so I thought I wanted to get you in and have a chat about that. So, excuse me. Firstly, I have got a bit of a cough. Tell us about Tell us about you, your real estate journey, and the market that you work in.
Yeah, so my journey actually started through my mum. She started for the company back in 1997, and then I came across in 2003 in an admin role, mum with sales. And then in 2012, I came across to work as mum's assistant, and the rest is history. Here I am.
So real estate's been in the family?
It has, and now my daughter's here working for me.
Where is here? Just tell the viewers where.
Yeah, so we're in Victoria, in a suburb called Mooroolbark, which is the gateway or one of the gateways to the Yarra Valley, and it's probably around 45 minutes from the city.
So do you put that gateway to the Yarra Valley in your marcoms?
Yeah, so depending on the style of the property and where it's located, we certainly use that to, I guess, because a lot of people now with social media will look in areas they've never been before. So we need to give them ideas of what is surrounding that particular home.
Fantastic. Now, the company you're talking about is was Methven, then Professionals. Now it's just recently taken on Jealous Craig as the brand.
Correct.
How's that transition been for you?
Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed the transition. So I worked for Methven Professionals for over 20 years, and we've just this year moved across to Jealous Craig. And yeah, the systems that I thought we had were amazing. And now with the new company, it has just tenfold the buyer range for our owners and the services we can provide. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Always a difficult time when you change brands because you know I know real estate agents can be really loyal to. It's like a football team.
Very much so.
Excuse me, I've got this hay fever tickle cough. It's going to drive me mad this whole interview. So let's just.
It's fine.
I'll try and mute as many as I can. Yeah, real estate agents get connected to their brands almost like football teams. So changing must be tough. You've had to change your colorways. You've had to change the color of the boards that you put out, the flags. But as you said, in this shift, you've really enjoyed the new systems and processes that have come on board with the Jealous Craig brand.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic extension of what we were able to provide to our owners. So, and it's only been a couple of months, so we're still learning and training with them. But it's certainly opened our eyes to a whole different market that we can approach with the way that the Jealous Craig network are run, as opposed to individual little franchises.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really interesting how they take on different models. Let's talk about Muralbark. Not only is real estate in the family, but Muralbark's in the family. Tell us about that suburb and tell us about the changes it's gone through. Uh, Particularly, I think the biggest event, I suppose, is pre and post COVID and working from home. It's sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, opened these suburbs up to more people having a look at them because, if they're working from home 2 days a week, the travel to the city or somewhere nearby is only, is reduced. So these areas that are sort of the border of the city and the country, um, are starting to have a lot more appeal. Is that right?
Absolutely. So what we found during the COVID transition was there was a lot of people that were perhaps stuck on the smaller blocks and wanted to move out. So Muralbark, predominantly you see them around the 860 square metre blocks. And then we can move out into acreage as well. So we've got a really good mix of both. And then as you move further out to the suburbs, you're getting into your 10, 20 acre lots. So during that COVID experience, we had a lot of people that were only in front homes that had been subdivided or units moving out our way to get a bit more space, the trees. During COVID, I was really fortunate to be on the level crossing removal project where I was part of the design committee. So we've just had a brand new station put in. So that's been a really big key focus for our suburb, is just the uplift of what the new station has brought in.
Hold on, you were on the committee designing, helping
Yeah.
design the train station?
Yep. Yeah, so that was really exciting. So that literally took us through the whole of COVID. So that was something that I was privileged to be a part of. And now every time I look out the window of our office, I get to admire, being part of that journey.
Do you, as one of the designers, do you get your name on a plaque or any of the
No,
bricks or anything like this?
I wanted to put my name in the concrete, but they wouldn't let me.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
unlucky. Yeah, well, you could just tag it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I nearly said yes.
Now let's talk about that. I mean, I think this is, I didn't even know that. You've stunned me. But I suppose it's almost a reflection of how involved you are with the community. Because while you do sell real estate in this space, um, strategically or not, you really are in the fabric of Muralbark. Is that something that helps? Is it something you do on purpose? Or is it something you'd be doing anyway and it just happens to have benefits?
I think I've combined my passion for Moralbark, being that I've lived here, we moved here in 1980. So my passion for Moralbark, but also the community tied in with where I work, is just the perfect combination. So um, one of the things I found during COVID was being able to reach out when people had questions about the train line, because obviously, with roads being blocked off, I was able to give, information about this road will be blocked off. And I also run one of the local admin pages for Muralbark. I'm one of the admin there, so I was able to use that as a platform to get all the information out about what was happening with the train line. So tying it into real estate, it's given me an additional knowledge that can help buyers when they're choosing why to move to Muralbark or surrounding suburbs, what's going on in the surrounds. So when people are talking about schools, I can then talk about our local bus service, which is actually really unique to us. It's called the Flexi Ride, and people can jump on an app, and if they fall within the zones, they can actually get picked up from their front doorstep. So it's giving people without public transport or without cars that extra benefit of the public transport. So they're things, by knowing what's happening in the suburb, I can help when it comes to selling a property. So it's like a win-win.
Now, you're a bit of a user of social media. It's something that you've been working very hard at recently.
Yep.
How important is it to be that voice for the community on social media and not just make every post about a house you've listed?
It's really important. If I was just on there, just listed, just sold, coming to the market, people would scroll past me very quickly and they wouldn't, want to engage with what I'm doing. So for me, the way, and especially working with yourself, I have learnt that people are going to be more focused on the community posts that I do, and then in between I will put in about properties I've got for sale, so that way they get more engagement off the back of the community posts that we do.
Yeah, let's put a bit of a disclaimer out there. Reggie works in the Virable's Alpha program, which is a program that we run here, and we work with agents one-to-one. So let's just declare that. It's not the
Yep.
sole reason that we're interviewing you here, but it is part of the reason because you've had success with it.
Yep.
With the increase of power of social media, how have you seen real estate change over the last 3 to 4 years?
It's had positive but also negative effects. And the reason I say negative effects, the buyers now come to our open homes with as much information in terms of what is sold around them, what else is on the market. So it means that we as agents, and it is a good thing, we need to be really switched on about the properties we're selling and what's sold around them, because we can turn around and say, oh, this has value at $800,000 or $1 million, and the buyers will go, oh, but the one around the corner just sold for 700. So we've got to really make sure we know our market. On the flip side, the positives is now through specific companies. We use one called Ad Phoenix. I've got no skin in the game for that one, but with that one, we can employ their services and we can work out if a buyer has been through realestate.com, Domain, Bunnings, anything like that that are in property mode, and we can start showing the properties that we've got for sale on their Facebook feed. It's kind of like if you've ever looked at a pair of shoes and next thing you know it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
We use the same algorithm.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's a really good way that social media works. Do you pay for Ad Phoenix?
The company does. It is a fairly small portion. I couldn't tell you how much it is. It's just part of the service we provide.
Yeah, ad retargeting is incredible. It's only going to get more. The more invasive it gets, it's going to get more attractive.
Yep.
There are a lot of people who are resistant to that sort of technology. As a marketer myself, I embrace it. I think it's going to be incredible. But there are ways to even do that organically.
Absolutely.
You don't always, as an agent, have to pay. And I think one thing I want to touch on is moving into spring. If there were agents out listening to this, and this goes out across New Zealand and all of Australia, I mean, it sits on YouTube, so anyone can literally watch it, but the viewers come from there. If there was an agent out there that's struggling moving into this spring season, Reggie, what are 3 things that you think they could start doing today that would help turn them around?
The community engagement is a really big one, because I find now when people think real estate, they think of what I've been doing because they're seeing my posts, because they're engaging, like one I put up the other day about if you find wildlife, how to research where to go. So when people see those posts, they go, oh, there was that girl, Regina. We'll reach out and contact her. So keeping front of mind is a massive one. And then in terms of when you're doing property videos for social media, get your owner to engage in them as well, so they can share it on the community forums around, hey, my house is on the market, so they can share it. And then when you do your own property videos, it's not about us. It has to be about, and this is one thing I've learned from you when we're doing those videos, is how does this home match up to the buyer and who's the best buyer going to be? And that's how we need to present that video out to them. I might be in it at the beginning, but it's talking about the feel of the home. So then when the buyer's watching it, they can go, oh, that's what I'm looking for, and then reach out and have a look. And then the viral spread of that is they might tag their friend that's been looking. and then all of their friends see it. And so it just spreads. So we can end up with a couple of thousand people looking at this video just from people tagging each other and writing comments on there.
Yeah, it is that the ability to trigger action is the key
Correct.
to helping it spread. Moving into the current market at the moment, I get reports from agents because I work with agents right across different places. I'm getting reports at the moment that some areas are booming and some areas are patchy. What sort of market are you in, and what tactics are you employing to combat the mood of the market?
Yeah, so our market at the moment, you can feel it's just starting to heat up, which is good coming into spring. It's probably started a week or two earlier than what we normally would see. So we're really starting to engage with the buyers.
So the spring market started early.
Yeah, it has, which is good. So we're starting, like I had one in Mount Evelyn that we put it on the market on the Friday. On the Saturday, we had 44 groups come through, which was amazing. It's been a while since we've seen such high volumes. And from that one sold 90,000 above the asking price just from the competition pushing it up. The way that Gels Craig work with their buyers, it's amazing to watch what can happen from those, the amount of people coming through. Then probably the big thing we need to focus on as agents is helping the owner present their property. It doesn't have to be brand new, but what they need to do is have it in really good presentation. So if we can work with them on the presentation, making sure we get our pricing right, then there's no reason why we can't have a really good campaign.
Do you think it's a buyer's or a seller's market at the moment?
It's actually sitting fairly even at the moment. So if the price is right and the presentation is right, they are selling really quick. If they're in a location or the price is not quite right or the presentation isn't, then we are seeing those ones struggle a bit. So I think if we can get a interest rate drop, we will see this market take off quickly.
Circling back on that, do you think that when the property is presented well and priced right, it's selling? Is that circling back to the fact that you believe buyers are so well informed now?
Correct. So when they see the property that they're really after, they're jumping on it. And we're explaining to the buyers that if we do get a interest rate cut, it's going to push the prices up. So a house they could maybe afford now at say 800,000, give it one or two rate drops, that property very quickly could go up in price to 850, 900, and they can't afford it anymore. So they might have a short-term pain of a higher interest rate now, but what they'll save in buying it at today's prices versus tomorrow could be quite a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's a really important message. Do you, in your social media, I notice you do talk about these types of topics in your content, and that's something that we've worked on. How do people respond to you now face to face? That you're creating more of this less real estate agent content and more problem solving approach?
Yeah. It's a really good question. I think the biggest thing I have found is people have stopped looking at me like just another agent in the area. They now look at me as a source of information. So if they've got questions, they will now cross the street or pop in to see me. Hey, Regina, I've just got this question. Can you help me? So it's certainly helped build my knowledge by being out in the community, but also they can see it too. So I've certainly become an attraction agent from social media.
Yeah, that's incredible. And moving forward, I mean, this is always the one question that real estate agents across the board always ask is, how are you getting most of your leads? How are you doing your prospecting? I don't want you to give away all your secrets, Reg, but where do you see it moving in the future? And I think this is somewhat of an obvious question, but I like to zig when everyone else is zagging. So, At the moment,
Yeah.
while everyone's trying to scale with AI and just put things on autopilot, I'm actually wanting to go the other way. Are you like that, or do you think real estate's still a marketing mix, or do you see one area taking over the other? What are the key elements you look for or look to do in order to attract more clientele, more appraisals, more listings?
So my phone calls are still super important in connecting with my existing clients. The way I engage now with new clients is through social media. I think AI has its place and it is great, but people want real. That is probably the biggest takeaway that I've got over the last 12 months. Like I got called out to put a house on the market, and he said, "No offense, Regina, don't take this the wrong way, but you're real. We wanted someone who's going to come out and be real with the buyers." So people want the polished agent. Yes, you've got to look good, have a nice car. It doesn't have to be, super high end car, but just something that's presented really well. But you've also got to be someone that they can see connecting with the buyers at the door. You don't want the buyer walking away going, "Oh, they're an idiot." You've got to be able to connect with them, and that's just by being yourself. And once you're yourself in front of the camera, it comes through, people relate to you, and they're more likely to reach out.
Do you think that was the biggest hurdle you had early on when you started to make more videos? Can you talk about
Yep.
that?
If we go right back to the start, probably my biggest hurdle was following in mum's footsteps, um, and trying to work out, did I need to be a duplicate of mum, or did I need to be myself? And it took me a while to figure that out. And it was only probably in the last 7 months with yourself working out how I wanted to be in my real estate journey, how I wanted to present homes, work with owners. Once I had that understanding, it's made my job reaching out to new clients, existing clients, so much easier because I've got a better understanding of how I do it.
So let's just reverse over that for a second. We did
Sure.
do a lot of work early on about the fact that, and this is what we find for people when they enter the programs early, is that they come in and they have an expectation of what they think a real estate agent needs to be.
Yeah.
And real estate agents tend to look at the successful agents and say, I need to be like them in order to achieve the same success.
Yep.
And one of the biggest platforms, I believe, is you're never going to succeed pretending to be someone else. You have to be you. That's
Correct.
almost what you're saying here, but you had the pressure and the weight of your mum and her
Yep.
success. And, of course, being influenced by her your whole life, there's going to be parts and bits of her emanating from your behaviours and situation the whole time. You used to struggle to make content when you were in that frame of mind. It was hard yards, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I would sit there and go, okay, I need to make a video. And I just didn't have a clue how to do it, how to put it together, but even just the content of what to do. It was very generic. This is a house. Here it is for sale. Come and meet us at the open. I can say that reel that I used to do over and over again, like the back of my hand. Whereas now it's actually really exciting thinking of all the different videos I'm able to do, because I'm not just limited to, well, this is what people want to see. It's actually from understanding myself better, I can now put that across into videos.
Yeah, and you were saying that that's now easier because you're
Much
not
easier.
pretending to be someone else.
Correct, absolutely. And your little belief statement that you sent me that we worked on together, um, it's spot on, and that has just really cemented, you know, how I am and my beliefs in real estate and personal life, and just how they've merged together.
So what Reggie's referring to there, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I think I'll just get it to grab. You can grab it and just give it a quick show on the screen. So what happens is that big brands go through this process where they
Yep.
write basically belief statements or brand statements around who they are and how they communicate, and that's because in a big business you've got to get 300 to 400 people all to be on the same page, individual personalities but pushing the brand in the same direction. The evolution of social media now has meant that people in service industries like real estate, like Regina, mortgage brokers, finance advisors, anyone that's human to human that can make content is now moving into that same space as a big brand. And what you have to make sure is you have to make sure that your content every week or every time you make a piece of content, it's consistent with you and your personality. Because if you don't follow a belief statement or you don't have rules, and religions are the best examples of belief statements in the world. And I'm not a religious guy, but they're the ultimate marketers. Anyone in a religion anywhere around the world can almost communicate the same way for that religion because they follow the same rules. And brands do it, and it was a breakthrough for big brands like Apple and Coca-Cola. But now that you're creating content to ensure that you're consistent and don't come across as somewhat schizophrenic or scatty or inconsistent, you need to have this really clear view of your own brand and your own positioning as a person and what you believe in. And the way that we do that is we make these statements and we send them out to our clients once they're done. And they're hard work. I mean, people think, I just put some nice words together and whatever. The work with Reggie, I think we'll be honest here, it literally took us probably 3 months.
Correct.
3 months to get it out, and then it took probably more intense. We spent a lot of time together at AREC. That was wonderful. I enjoyed it because we were listening to other experts talk about their journeys and their challenges, and then I was able to get Regina's responses to those, and it just brought even more clarity to the person that she was. So I actually waited almost 4 months, I think, to get this statement done. How does having that statement, and there's also another piece called the rules, which is just a more simplified version of how to know if an idea is good. Regina's rules. There we go.
Oh, I gotta go that way. Yep. So they're my rules.
So what these do is if Regina comes up with an idea, she knows whether the idea is right for her, and then the rules tell her what to say and how to say it. And it's all about helping Regina just move the process of creating content forward without any of the stress and the hassle. There's still some stress. There's still some camera reluctance. Most people have it. I still have it. But these two things, these two tools are about speeding that up. How has these two things changed the way you create your content?
With being able to get in front of the camera and sort of having a better understanding of my story I'm telling, whether it be about a house or community, it's just a lot easier. Like my blooper reel has gone from being massive to most of the time I don't even do blooper reels anymore, in terms of I know what I'm going to say because it's coming from me, not opposed to a script. It's a genuine conversation I'm having with the person, and just always picturing you talking to one person through the camera helps with that connection. But one of the other things I found with having the rules and was even yesterday when I was talking with an owner, I just glimpsed, because I have them sitting up on my windows, and I thought, am I living up to my own version of myself? Am I delivering the same guidelines that I want to hold myself accountable to? And it kind of keeps me back on track, so you don't get distracted by what's happening around you. It's like it just keeps recentering you, and you're like, yep, this is what I need to do, so you can just keep moving forward.
Yeah, so it's even working outside of the content creation.
100%. Yeah, it's actually, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at just how much now it gives me more clarity on everything I'm doing. It's been a big change. It's great.
Now, I don't want to turn this into an ad for it, but obviously if there are people out there that are struggling, it is a bit of a different process, and we know people who just couldn't get themselves to buy into this. And it's not for everyone, and I'm unapologetic about that. Yeah, you've got to be wanting to do it in order for it to work. Like, if you don't do the work, it doesn't work. But for people who are out there, have you got a message for people who maybe are thinking about this sort of thing? How's it changed you? What are you like? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Has it changed your numbers? Like, what are we talking about here? Is it helping you work faster, clearer, deeper engagement, more numbers? Like, what's been the actual 360-degree impact?
So if we look at it, it's kind of like an onion. You've got to peel the layers off. And as we went through it, we peeled the layers off to my objections, to what I thought I had in real estate, to how I wanted to, and I thought I had to perform. So all those have been stripped away and rebuilt back up, which has been amazing. It has meant I don't need to prospect as hard as I used to, because my prospecting is now through my videos with community work, through my videos with real estate. So instead of being on the phones and just doing one phone call after another, which can be quite draining, especially if you're not getting any traction that day, and you'll have good and bad days, this now means that while I'm with my family, enjoying family time, or I'm horse riding, my message of how I work and how I perform is still out there, going through on people's feeds. So to me, it's a game changer, and something I'm going to focus heavily on.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could just get rid of this cough, I've had it for like 7 weeks. It's gone crazy. Thank you, Reggie. Very kind words. So just to wrap this up, moving into spring, say there's a new agent out there, say there's someone who's struggling a little bit, maybe their patch isn't as fruitful as it used to be, or it's evened out a bit. What advice would you give from your years of experience in real estate in order to make it a success?
I think the biggest thing is embrace change of where the market's moving, and that is into the digital platform. So, yes, your first couple of videos, you'll laugh, you'll feel embarrassed, but just keep pushing yourself to the point now when someone puts a camera in my face, I'm just like, okay, and just keep moving on, because the more you can get yourself out there and more people will relate to you, the better exposure your brand and where our own brand gets out there, and people will just naturally gravitate to you because you're providing them with the service of knowledge. So 100% I recommend just getting in, doing your social media, and really pushing yourself out there.
Very good. Thank you, Reggie. I wish you all the best for this upcoming
Thank
spring
you.
season. It's final season in football, but it's also final season in real estate. Actually, that's a good question. Are we still seeing the spring cycle being the busiest, or is it evening out?
It does tend to be the busiest, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the highest in terms of dollar-tree amount. So if you compare a market, say in winter, where we don't have as many on, the competition is between the buyers, because you might only have 2 or 3 in that price point. Come spring, when all the houses come on, then the competition actually gets to the owners. So yes, spring is certainly the busiest. Is it the best time? It's going to depend on the market and the style of home you have.
So the best thing to do is speak to your local real estate agent.
Absolutely. They will know, what's best for you and your circumstances.
Awesome. Reggie, you've been wonderful. It's been great to be working with you, of course, over the last 6 or 7 months.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your insights. I think it's been invaluable. Good luck, and I believe there's a bit of a trip away coming up, so enjoy that with the family.
Thank you.
You've worked very hard over this year so far, and I'm sure a little break's in order, and then you'll be back at it before everyone knows it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Reg.
Thank you.
Now, if you enjoyed this episode of Spring Into Action, please don't forget to leave a like. It tells the algorithms that you like this sort of content and encourages creators like me to keep making it. Also, leave a comment if you've got any questions, and if you've got other people who you think could learn anything from the interview that we just conducted, don't forget to share it to them as well. Otherwise, I really appreciate your attention. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.